if we go easy on ourselves and we don't even rule our own body, then who will? Friends, video games, or addictions? Imagine your own body ruling you and not the other way around. How can you even let that be? Being undisciplined is actually very painful because here you are, not achieving your potential, just doing whatever you want, nothing really useful, not helping anybody else around you, and you're just not even pushing your body to the full limits. You're not even doing any work, it's procrastinating. And you know this as well because think about the day where you did all the fun stuff, the ones that is supposed to be fun and the things that everybody does, like watching YouTube or play video games, watching Netflix, all that. Think about the day where you just played for like 4 hours straight, then watched YouTube and did nothing productive throughout the day. How did you feel at the end of that day? Pause the video right now, okay? Pause the video right now and think about it. Pause it, think about it, and then resume it. Done? Alright. Well, you probably felt bad, right? You probably felt like shit because you didn't do anything throughout the day. And this is why I'm saying that being undisciplined is actually painful because it is. Like, bro, you're indulging in all those bad habits throughout the day, doing nothing productive, and in the end, those bad habits develop into an addiction and they start ruling you. And, bro, the entire time you're doing that bad habits and you're in that bad state, right? You keep on thinking about, like, bro, what am I doing with my life? Why am I not working harder? I need to be working harder or I need to be being better. You keep thinking about that, right? Even when you're doing something fun, your mind still thinks about the future and is keep worrying about the future. Like suppose you went out to eat with your friends, right? And that entire time, your mind is still worrying about like, man, when am I going to eat clean? When am I going to start dieting, start going to the gym and all that? It keeps worrying about that. So due to all those thoughts, you're in such a bad mental state that you don't even enjoy it as much. The amount of enjoyment that you get from doing a thing totally depends on the mindset that you have while you're doing it. And let me give you an example to prove that shit, right? So suppose there's two people, Jack and Joe. So Joe keeps cheating on his diet. He's kind of, skinny fat. He keeps cheating on his diet. He eats like snacks and all that stuff throughout the day. And he keeps worrying about, man, when will I eat healthy? And then there's Jack. He's going to the gym for a while, like almost a year or two, and he's always clean on his diet. He eats very clean diet and doesn't really, stay away from his diet and like go astray, right? So when Jack and Jones, not together, separately, go out with their friends to like a dinner party or something, who do you think will have more fun? Jack. Because the entire time, he's not worrying about when will I eat clean and all because he's already eating clean and doesn't really care about that. However, Joe, on the other hand, he keeps worrying about like when I'm gonna eat clean and man, I keep on eating this bad food and all that. He's worrying about that. So he's in a bad mental state, doesn't enjoy it. You get it now. Alright. And for that, now think about the day where you did all the things. Like you were productive as hell. You did so much work. You worked for like 4 hours straight and finished like a huge project. Like basically, you did everything. You did so much stuff and you didn't waste a single amount of time for the bad activities. Think about that day and tell me how did you feel at the end of that day. Again, pause the video right now, think about it, and then return back. Alright? This is the actionable step. You better do this. It's very important actually. Done. Well, let me guess. You felt amazing, right? You felt fucking awesome because you did so much stuff. You literally like finished a huge project. Like, bro, if I were to talk to you at the end of the day, you'd be like, oh man, I did so much stuff. I literally did that, this. I ran for like 10 kilometers. I did so much stuff. You would literally be hype about the day, right? And so what I'm saying, bro, when you're being disciplined, is actually not restricting yourself because you might be believing that being disciplined is just restricting yourself from all the fun. You're just living like a monotonous life or something. No, when you're cutting out all the bad things, like all the cheap dopamine stuff, then discipline itself becomes the fun. Like, bro, when you're doing the work, imagine your work itself giving you fun. Imagine you wanting to do that work because it is fun. Like, bro, you don't even need to use willpower, or you're like, man, I got like 2 hour work session or something. You don't even feel like that. You're eager to do the work because you're literally that disciplined that you start deriving happiness from your own work. Think about that, bro. That'd be awesome, right? That'd be like crazy. Yet it is possible with enough discipline, and you can do it as well. Just start right now and start in discipline. You can achieve this also one day. It'll happen. I'm telling you. So what instant gratification activities essentially do is spike your dopamine. So what dopamine is just like a happiness hormone. So if you have more of it, you feel more happy. So that's what basically it is. Also, that's one for uh, motivation and stuff, but that's another point, right? So what instant gratification activities basically do is spike your dopamine. So this is your baseline, spikes it, and then it drops below baseline. So when you're doing this activity, you might be feeling good, but then afterwards you feel way worse because your happiness is below the baseline. But what these delayed gratification activities do is just cause slow increase. So when you do it and you don't feel that nice and all that, but then this cause slow increase. So at the end, once you're done doing the task, you actually are like above the dopamine baseline. But it doesn't really crash. It slowly goes back down. So it actually nicely improves your happiness and all that without causing a crash. And by the way, if you keep crashing your dopamine levels, it can get lower below the baseline. Like your dopamine baseline can reduce if you keep crashing it multiple times, like way too frequently, it will reduce. And before we move on with how to get discipline and all that, let's understand what discipline actually means. So what it is basically doing something even when you don't feel like it. Now, suppose I'll give some examples. Okay, suppose you went to the gym, but you didn't feel like going to gym. You wanted to either play with your friends, play video games. You felt all that, but you still went to gym anyway. Then you use discipline. And or suppose you had like a some studying session above, like you wanted to study like 2 hours from now, but then your friends call you to play video games. So now you're tempted to play video games instead of studying, but you study anyway. That's called using discipline. That's what actually discipline is. Discipline is actually not forever. Now, what I mean by this is suppose you're disciplined at a point. Like some point in your life, you were disciplined. Right? You did all the stuff, you did all the hard stuff, you don't feel like it, and you did everything, right? Then you'll be really disciplined. But if you don't hold on to that discipline, if you don't continue doing these activities and you start slacking, you start going easy on yourself, you start, slowly start incorporating video games back into your life, social media and everything, you'll also become less disciplined. It's just how it works. You know, it, you can increase it and you can also decrease it. And this is why also is a really big problem. Because many people think that, man, I'm disciplined now, so now I can do everything else and still continue to be disciplined. No, you cannot. The only reason you were disciplined in the first place is because you did only this and not the other instant gratification activities. So I'm so warning you. If you're doing, if you're trying to become disciplined, yeah, it's gonna go up. But don't think that once you're at the top, you're always disciplined and you're ready to do some other stuff. Your discipline will go down. It's like a skill, This goes up, but it's like a special skill. If you don't do it enough times, this goes back down. Now anyone can actually become disciplined. And I can tell you this with confidence because I was also once like a degenerate. I also used to play on video games, didn't do nothing productive. And at the night, I developed like a really bad habit of just scrolling for bed, which would make me go to bed later, and eventually I would have less sleep, right? And a worse quality of sleep. And also, I didn't do anything productive during the day. I didn't study or do anything. Just like my mom kept me in some tuitions or something, and I just went there, came back. So the entire time, I also felt pretty shit because I didn't do anything productive. The only thing that I did, which was moderately okay, was that I played basketball. You know, that's the only good thing that I did throughout the day. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you also like this? Playing video games and not doing anything productive and just overall wasting your day? Well, if you are like this, let me tell you one thing. You can become disciplined because from that, I actually went on to start doing work. I stopped playing 1 hour of video games every day. I stopped eating junk food and everything. And I'm actually pretty goddamn disciplined. And that's why I'm uploading videos to help you to reach my level, right? You know what's crazy? The entire time, The time where I did nothing useful and all that. I played video games the entire time. I knew about self improvement. But guess what? I just kept on watching videos and I didn't really take any action. Now you might be also be doing this. Like you might be just watching self improvement videos, like maybe from Hamza, from me, or from some other channel. You might be watching these videos and not taking in action. But let me tell you one thing: if you don't take action, knowledge is basically useless. Knowledge without action is basically useless. So if you don't really take action about the things that I tell you or anybody else on self improvement space tells you, it's basically useless. You've been wasting all your time watching these self improvement videos, even though you think it's somewhat productive. Bro, you're not acting upon it. It does not matter if you don't act upon it. You have to act upon it and take the knowledge and start applying it. Otherwise, you won't remember and you again forget. So, there was no point of watching it in the first place. So, here's what I did to actually become disciplined. So, first, I stopped playing video games. I stopped eating junk food and all the instant gratification activities. I reduced it to very, very low. Like my screen time also, I reduced it very, very less, right? And second, started maintaining a physical habit tracker, which is like a piece of paper, which is on my wall right now. I'll show you later on how to actually make it. And third, I just started showing up. Just started showing up to meditation, to my studies, to YouTube channel, trying to make one, film videos. Now, let's go into more detail about these things and I'll show you how to actually apply it in real life and give you actionable steps. So, make sure you watch this part of the video pretty closely and apply what I tell you to. Alright, let's get started. Stop playing video games. So, stop playing video games completely. Like, completely cut it out. Not even for 1 hour or 30 minutes or 15 minutes, nothing. Completely cut it out. Okay. And second thing, stop watching social media. All right. And third, stop eating junk food. Now, actually, I have an entire video on how to actually quit video games, like a detailed explanation showing you how to step by step stop playing video games. I have a detailed video on it in my YouTube channel. You can go watch it right now. I think I might link it somewhere over here or in the description. I'll link it somewhere. Watch it. Okay. And second, see all the activities that I mentioned right now, like eating junk food, video games, and social media, all of them are instant gratification activities, right? And the reason why these are actually so bad is because they keep spiking and crashing your dopamine. So if you keep spiking and crashing, and at the crash, you don't really have much dopamine left. And you gotta remember, or you didn't know, dopamine also is responsible for motivation and drive. So if you keep spiking and crashing your dopamine, you will have like basically zero dopamine the entire time, right? So you'll also have zero motivation and drive. So doing these instant gratification activities actually kills your motivation and drive. It also is the main reason why people actually go into depression or something. I'm not lying about this, man. The people who are actually in depression or going into depression, who usually have been doing this instant gratification activities for years, and they've crashed their dopamine and spiked it for so many times that their dopamine baseline just got lower, lower and lower until a point where they just reached depression. Like the lowest stage, just become depressed because they lowered the baseline so much. This is why doing these activities are actually so bad. They can literally lead you to depression because they lower your baseline so much. Now we move on to quitting junk food. Okay, so first go tell your mom to stop bringing these snacks like the chips, the biscuits, and all that. Stop telling her to bring them every time she comes back from groceries. This is usually why you have so much snacks in your house, because she thinks you likes them. Okay, she thinks you might like them and might eat them. Yeah, you like it, but you don't want to do it, right? So first things first, go do this right now. Pause the video. I'm telling you, this is so important. Pause the video right now and go tell your mom that you don't want snacks anymore from the grocery store. Please stop bringing it to me. Either call her or go up to her and tell her right now. And if you're not available or something, tell it as soon as she comes back. This is the most important step. Okay. And second, keep the snacks out of your view. So basically, if you just keep like snacks all around your desk or in your room, you'll see them and be tempted, right? But if you just lock them away in like a pantry or like a secluded space, you won't be able to see them. So you won't be crave that much for it. I'm telling you, this does work. Okay, this does work. And third, eat your meals fully. So what I mean by that is your lunch, your dinner, or your breakfast. Eat them completely. Don't eat them half-heartedly because that leaves you hungry until the next meal. And this time span, like suppose between breakfast or lunch, this time span is actually where you're most likely to eat snacks. Because you actually eat snacks when you feel hungry, but then your lunch or dinner or another meal is like a few hours away. So at the time you actually eat snacks. So in order to avoid this, just eat your meals fully. So that way, even during the time gap between the meals, like whether it be 4 hours, 5 hours, the time between the meals is quite a lot, you'll still be full, so you won't be feeling hungry between those times and start craving for snacks. So let's stop your craving for snacks. All right. And as for creating social media, what you can actually do is watch like a useful content, like watch educational content instead of completely quitting it out. And so what I also do so that I gain new insights here and there and start growing, right? So what you do is first, you know all those entertainment content, right? Like Mr. Beast or stuff like that. Replace that with educational content, like watching some Chris Wilson podcasts or Alex Hamozi's videos. Most of them are on business, but you can just watch the ones which are about life. And mine, literally my channel. I post educational content to make you better. So you can literally watch mine. So watching like Mr. Beast or something. It's educational, isn't it? You can go watch my previous videos as well. They're very educational, man. You can watch mine as well. And after that, start valuing your time and do something important every day. Whether that important thing might be doing studying or you do something else, do something important every day. By quitting these instant gratification activities, you'll actually start regaining your motivation and drive. Like imagine being motivated to do your work. Imagine being motivated to go to the gym or something hard. That would be very awesome, right? However, the sad thing is motivation does not last forever. But it is nice when it happens, the times. And by quitting these, you'll actually increase the frequency of this happening. But you know what does last? Drive. The hunger to do more. That does last. And that's what gets you far in life. The second thing you need to do is make a habit tracker. Having a habit tracker is actually very useful for keeping yourself accountable, because you can clearly see on that piece of paper or something, like the one right here, you can clearly see the days where you absolutely messed up, you didn't do anything, and the days where you absolutely crushed it. So it helps actually keeping you accountable. And it sort of gamifies your life, because every day you have like a series of tasks that you can complete, and when you tick them, you do get a small amount of dopamine, because like I know achievement dopamine or some shit like that. So you do get some dopamine, and at the end of the day, once you tick all those boxes, you do feel pretty good, like you did everything that you wanted to do today. It does feel pretty good. So it's also an exciting, basically it's also an exciting challenge. It gives like a new challenge to do every day. So if you feel like you gotta complete something, like basically quest in a video game, you wanna complete this quest in a day or something. That's basically in real life. You wanna study, you wanna do work, you wanna do YT, all that, right? And bro, when you crush your tasks for like multiple days in a row, man, it feels awesome. That's also another way to get like really good dopamine out of it. And these are the good dopamine, by the way, not the bad ones like from instant gratification. Rather, these are ones from delayed gratification. And habit track also helps you do things faster. Like suppose you come back from the school, and now if you keep thinking for like 30 minutes, what should I do? Should I do notes, homework, or some studying? What should I do? You feel confused, right? Well, habit tracker literally eliminates the confusion by just showing you what to do. Like in a day, you only have these 5 things to do. It just shows you so that you can easily move on from task to task with clarity. So making this habit tracker is actually very easy. This is mine. So yeah, there's bit lines like the days, and currently I've been keeping like some habits like meditation, gratitude journaling, and all that. And on this part, there's the days, right? Now look at the days ones. I didn't number it down like 1, 2, 3, 4, like maybe how other habit trackers are. Instead, I mentioned the month and the date. And it's actually helpful for keeping you way more accountable, because it holds it down to the day. Because suppose we keep like 1, 2, 3 days like without any month or date, right? We just keep 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just choose to skip one day and then like boom, now you can like again maintain a streak or something. You can gaslight yourself, right? So this really helps you in improving your accountability. And please, for God's sake, take only when you do the task, when you're done doing the task. Not like once you're done with the day and you feel like you want to add one more tip to make it cool. Like, bro, don't tick when you did not do the task. That makes this habit track lose all its purpose. The final thing that you need to do is just show up. So you know the habits that you do regularly. So now you know the habits that you want to do, and you know the ones that you want to be disciplined at. Now is the time to actually just show up. Just start trying. Get consistent, right? So what actually means in real life is, suppose you want to go to gym, just show up, drive or walk to the gym, and at least if you work out for 20 minutes, right? 20, even 20 minutes. That's progress compared to not even doing it, right? Just show up. Suppose you're trying to study, just studying for like 40 minutes if you usually don't study is still progress. It just goddamn show up. Just try to be consistent, man. And by doing all this, you slowly start building a rhythm. And when doing this, try to get better each time. I suppose you were in gym last in that week for 20 minutes. Try going for like 30 minutes with like renowned or like renewed intensity. And consistency is actually very important if you want to get any results, right? Most of the great people or most of the high achievers actually are very consistent. And most people don't get results because they are not consistent. Yeah, once you go past the stage of just showing up, doing it with intent is what the next step is. So suppose you've been doing this for like 30 days, maintain this habit tracker and all that. After 30 days, so you start doing with intent, because what gets you from like a lower level to this level won't get you from this level to the next one. You gotta do with intent. And final thing, when you're actually doing this habit tracker stuff, keep this rule, okay? For the first 30 or 60 days, keep this rule in your mind, okay? Fix this rule and make sure you do this. This is very important. So make it so that you can tick those boxes even if you did it for a very short amount of time. Even if you made it for like 1 minute, even if you ran for 5 minutes, still have the ability to tick it. Still make it so that you can tick it. Now I know, your ego might be telling you that, man, let's make it 1 hour, 2 hours, let's up it up, let's make it hard. Relax, bro. You're not all that, and I'm here to tell you, you're not all that. What you'll do is just not take anything and just lose motivation. But if you do what I say, then what essentially happen is this, okay? So suppose we've been consistent and then one day we just miss like a habit. Somehow. We just miss the habit and we didn't do it. And bro, it'll burn when you miss the habit. So next day you wake up and look at the habit tracker and you say that, suppose meditation has not been done. You'll be thinking to yourself with that masculine rage, like, man, I couldn't meditate for a minute. What the hell am I doing with my life? What am I doing? And this masculine anger will be so useful, because the next time you won't skip it again, because you're pissed that you didn't do this. You're angry as fuck because you didn't do this one. So next time you won't skip it. Alright, man, that's another video. That's all you need to do. Know about discipline. If you want, you can go check out my other videos as well. They're really helpful, and make sure to subscribe and like if you found it very informative. And join my Discord, bro. I'll help you out. We have like weekly calls. I'll host if you want, and we'll do in one-to-one coaching. Why not? For a while, we just do it for free. You know, join my Discord. Link in the description.